Hello, it is Kat Kennedy from Cuddlebuggery, and I am back this week to do the Opposites book tag. Now, I've linked below the person who originally started the tag, and as for the person who tagged me, well, they didn't necessarily name me, but I knew in their heart of hearts that Katrina from the Little Book Owl meant me when she said that she was tagging anybody who actually wanted to do the video. So, there we go. I'm tagged, right? Totally works that way. I'm sure it does. I don't care. Doing it anyway. It looks like so much fun. So yeah, Opposites book tag. Let's just go the first book in your collection and the last book in your collection. The first book in my collection was actually a book my mum gave me when I was really little, and as you can tell, I kind of loved on it a lot. It's Heidi by J. Speary. I'm not sure if that's how you actually pronounce her name, but that's how I've been pronouncing it since I was 4 years old. And yeah, I've loved on it a lot over the years, and it's still with me. I never, when I left home, I'm like, I'm taking it with me, you can't have it, it's my childhood. Even though it was her childhood too. In fact, I'm pretty sure that she's got her name and address somewhere in here. Yeah, she does. It was hers when she was a kid, when she was 4. And the last book in my collection is actually The Wrath and the Dawn, which I just got in the other day. Now, I've bought books since this, but they haven't arrived yet. So this is officially the last book to come into my collection since this is going, and I'm still reading this one, so whew, all the feels, people, all the feels. A cheap book and an expensive book. Now, I'm one of those people who obsessively, compulsively takes price tags off things. So I don't know exactly how much I bought these books for, but I know that this one, an Australian classic edition of A.B. Patterson and his collected verses, was like $5 or something like that. I remember seeing it on sale and being like, oh my god, that's amazing, I want it! Even though I've never actually sat down to read it, because like we're made to read some of his poetry in primary school here. That's what we call elementary school. So like I know them. I know his poems. I don't need to have actually read it, even though I practically shoved it off the shelf and took it and held it to me and went to the cash register and was like, I'll give you the money, just give me the book. So yeah, that's my cheap book. Now, it's not that this book was particularly expensive, but it was expensive for us. We don't tend to buy very expensive books. So this copy of H.P. Lovecraft and his complete works was actually quite expensive for us at the time. And we didn't have a lot of money then, so we were like, ooh, should we get it? Oh, it's $50. Oh, I don't know. Oh, okay, it's H.P. Lovecraft, let's do it. So that's what we were. It's quite a hefty book too. We felt like we were getting our monies for it. So, a book with a male protagonist and a book with a female protagonist. For my male protagonist, I chose J.D. Salinger's Catcher in the Rye. Am I pronouncing his name wrong? I don't know. I think I've been pronouncing it wrong my entire life, and I just don't know. But anyway, I really loved this book. I know a lot of people hate Holden. I know why. I get it. I don't know why I loved it so much. I just really felt for him and as a character, so yeah, I've got the little hardback. A book with a female protagonist is Under the Never Sky by Veronica Rossi, and I don't feel like this series gets the love and attention it deserves because it is amazing. It is a beautiful series of books. I just love it, love it. Give it to me, give it to me. And I love Veronica Rossi too. She is awesome. The most awesome author, one of the most awesome authors I know. Oh no, I was about to get myself in trouble there. Oops. A book you read fast and one that took you a long time to read. For a book I read fast, now I don't remember these things. Like, what are these questions? I don't remember this shit. I really don't. So I went on Goodreads and I looked through books and how long they took me to read, and I kind of went, well, let's just go on memory here because this is taking a really long time. I've read something like 700 books and going through and doing all the maths of like, ooh, was that 5 days? Was that a month? Ooh, was just too hard for me. So I remember just tearing through this book. Because it was nighttime and it was scary, and this book is really scary. Like, for someone like me who gets scared easily, I was terrified of reading this book. So yeah, I just tore through it because I was like, gotta get to the end, gotta get to the end, it's freaking me out, it's freaking me out, oh my god. So yeah, that's just what I did. As far as books that took a long time to read, there's been a lot of those books. In fact, when I went on to Goodreads, I saw that a lot of my books took a long time to read. But one that I remember that I actually stuck with and that, like, you know, was kind of appropriate for the book was Arabian Nights, 1001 Arabian Nights, or whatever you call it. I would just read it and then I'd put it down to sleep and then I'd just read it again, and my cat's come in the room somehow, I don't know, he's walking behind me, he's probably going to freak me out and get me off my groove, and he's knocking over my books, don't worry about it. Anyway, so I'd put it down and I'd be like, whew, and then I'd pick it up the next night and I'd read it and then I'd fall asleep, and then, you know, it just took me a long time to get through all of the book. It was just one of those books. A pretty cover and an ugly cover. For my pretty cover, I'm going with one of my favourite books, Days of Blood and Starlight. I just love this cover. I find it absolutely stunning. What is there to say about it? The colours, the imagery, this font, it's all just perfect for me. I just love it. Oh, can't get enough of it. Now for an ugly cover, I hate to say this. I really do. I don't want to disparage this book. I love the book itself. This is one of those cases where you see past the ugly cover to the beautiful text. But these hardcovers for Finnegan of the Rock and the rest of this series really bug me. Like, the Australian paperbacks are so much prettier, but I don't buy paperbacks, so I had to buy them in hardcover, and it broke my heart to do it. Like, it was really like, just breaking into 1,000 pieces. A national book and an international book. Now, for my national book, I went with Every Move by Ellie Marnie. She is a great and totally underrated Australian author. This is a Sherlock retelling, except it's Mycroft and Watts, and it's really, really sexy, really funny, flirty, suspenseful, intelligent books. They're really well written, and yeah, she's a Melbourneite, so she lives near me and I just adore her. So that's my national book. Now with my international book, I really could have gone with just about anything on my shelf because I buy a lot of international books, but I decided to go with The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender. It's obviously set internationally, and it's got such a mystical feel to it that it's almost set in another world, in another land and place and time that, you know, is just so fantastical, so that's why I picked that one. A thin book and a thick book. Well, for my thin book, probably the thinnest book on my shelves is Melina Marchetta's Saving Francesca. See, it's so small, it's so little, tiny, tiny little book. So yeah, beautiful book though. If you love Melina Marchetta, or if you've never read her, then read her. And now, the thick book is War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. I could choke an elephant with this book. Really, I could. It is massive. And in case you're wondering, no, I haven't read it. My partner's read it, and that's why it's on our shelves. My partner obviously doesn't have the paperback version that I do, so. A fiction book and a non-fiction book. Really, we own mostly fiction books, but we own a few like very serious texts. So I was a little bit, you know, I didn't want to bring them out because they're like, you know, the nature of humanity and stuff like that, like, and creation, how it occurred, and, you know, we didn't want to bring any of that out. So I found this little book that I own, How to Dress for Success by Edith Head. It's very of its time, and the tips are very, it's a non-fiction book. It is, it really is. But, you know, it's just a bit special. It's just a bit, you know, for 1960s and 70s women, and that's what it's for. It was really interesting to read about how the expectations for women in this age and how they're, you know, expected to dress themselves, not only themselves but their family, and how to do it. So And for a fiction book, I decided to pick Stolen, A Letter to My Captor by Lucy Christopher, only because, like, it's fiction, it didn't really happen, but it could. And by could, I mean like an Australian totally could kidnap you and take you out to the desert and keep you there forever and nobody would ever find you. It's true. A very and way too romantic book and an action-filled book. Well, this one was really easy for me because I actually have Finale by Becca Fitzpatrick, which the publisher sent to me and one of my children drew on. In case you can see the scribbling on the face. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I know it looks like it might have been me, but it wasn't me. And yeah, all of these books are just really la-di-da. So not interested in that romance. Blah. But for my action-packed book, this is not young adult, by the way, so just keep in mind, but Heart of Steel by Mel G and Brooks, really action-packed, really great, great adult book there that I really loved. So yeah, a book that made you happy and a book that made you sad. For a book that made me happy, I'm gonna have to go with my third Melina Marchetta book of the video, On the Jellicoe Road. Made me so happy. I mean, sure, I cried throughout it, but the book itself made me really happy to read and really happy to just finish and be like, I'm so satisfied, so satisfied. It was such a satisfying ending, so yeah. And as for a book that made me sad, I'm gonna have to go with Teeth by Hannah Moskowitz, because this book broke me into a million pieces and I bet she's not even sorry. Not even the slightest bit sorry at all. And it's heartbreaking, and if you are into mermaids, if you are into ugly mermaids, if you are into two teen boys being so adorably cute together and then just having your heart broken, then you should read this book. Although I'll give you a trigger warning for rape though, so if you're sensitive to that issue, then I wouldn't read it because it's quite graphic. So yeah, that's my video. As for me and who I tag, well, I'm going to be generous, just like the little book owl was generous, and I'm going to say if you want to do this tag, I tag you. Sorry, my cat is trying to get my attention. Yes. Yes, I'm going to tag you. Don't forget to click the little box for all the links to our social media. And thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you so much for the original person who made the tag so that I got to participate. So thank you and have a great day. Bye!